Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Did Joe Biden intentionally try to sabotage Kamala Harris today? Well, the evidence continues to come in that the answer there may actually be yes. I'm Vince with RTM News. Do us a big favor, folks. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below. Your subscriptions go a long way in ensuring we can keep bringing you videos like this. And hey, we are a relatively new channel here, so anything you can do to help out the little guy, greatly appreciated, and it's free. So go hit that red subscribe button down below. But with that said, what exactly am I talking about here? Well, long story short, first of all, today, the port strike ended. This is with the longshoremen. They were threatening to shut down supply chains across this country. That strike has now been called off. And Joe Biden, in the wake of it, did a press conference, which is notable enough in itself because Joe Biden never does press conferences. But take a look at the timing here. So Kamala Harris was about to take the stage in Detroit at 2:04 p.m. Eastern time to talk about unions and a lot about this very port strike. And Biden, mysteriously, this was actually a surprise appearance. This was not something people were expecting him to talk about, entered the briefing room to do his own press conference at 2:06 p.m. Eastern time. And if you think I'm talking crazy or reading too much into this, take a listen to what CNN pointed out themselves.
I do have a note, and I'm curious what you think about this. We were actually about to go live to Vice President Kamala Harris, who's speaking right now in Detroit, Michigan, and apparently she's talking about this port strike ending. She's trying to appeal to union workers, and yet you have the President of the United States come out clearly overshadowing her, answering significant questions. Is that a communications mistake? Is the left hand not talking to the right hand in this situation?
That's a very good point. And if they were coordinated, as you assume they would be, this would not have happened.
You know, I personally like to think that Joe Biden knows exactly what he is doing. In actuality, he probably doesn't, but I like to believe, okay, let me fantasize that in the final days of his administration, Dark Brandon is secretly trying to sabotage Kamala Harris to get his revenge on what the Democrats did to him. But no, in all seriousness, something is incredibly strange about that, right? Kamala Harris is making what is for her kind of an important speech. She's trying to make this big appeal to union workers. And then Joe Biden, at least knowing or not knowing, and we'll talk about that in a second, takes the stage, and then all of a sudden, all the big TV networks are streaming him and broadcasting him instead of the actual Democrat candidate. Now, there are a couple of explanations for what might have happened here, but the conclusion is still the same. And it still suggests there's some type of rift going on between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, because obviously the first explanation is that this was 100% intentional. Joe Biden is pissed off and he was trying to just take a little jab or mess with Kamala Harris to steal her thunder and put the spotlight on himself, maybe try to make the case that he should be the candidate all along. And obviously we know that answer would point to yes, Joe Biden clearly tried to sabotage Kamala Harris by doing this. But there is the other explanation, and this is kind of the devil's advocate one, which is that it was not intentional. This was just a mistake. This was a miscommunication. But that still, to me, suggests something strange, because you mean to tell me then that the Biden team and Kamala team are not in communication? Because if you're going to say it was a miscommunication, then that would suggest, yes, that Biden and Kamala are certainly not talking to each other. But it must be even worse, because even Biden's team and Kamala's team are not in communication. And that also would imply, to me at least, there's some type of bad blood or beef brewing between the two. And so whichever way you want to spin it, yes, Biden did this on purpose, or it was just an accident. Either way, the conclusion is pretty damning for Kamala Harris, because let's not forget what Donald Trump said the entire time, which is he hates her.
You talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her.
Yeah, seems like Trump was right all along. But now take a listen to what Joe Biden said during this press conference. And once again, tell me you don't think he is sabotaging Kamala Harris, whether or not it's intentional. Check it out.
Number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Okay, so there are a couple of problems with what Joe Biden said there, and it's almost kind of ironic, right? The first one is that he claims he and her are in constant communication, and then on top of that, their staffs are in constant communication, which begs the question, okay, maybe that's true, but if it was, how did you allow this to happen? Why did this entire debacle of the press conferences interrupting each other and you stealing your candidate's thunder while she's making a very important speech for her electorally doesn't add up there, right? And so that's just kind of like, I don't think that's true. But then on top of that, Biden did something that he's done a few different times, and Kamala Harris can't stand it any time he says this, which is he went out and said, right? Yeah, she did everything for me. Right? She was instrumental. She was a part of our agenda, all the laws we passed, all the things we did. Yeah, Kamala Harris was right there beside me. Kamala does not want this, okay? There's a reason why she keeps trying to distance herself from Joe Biden and is now taking credit for basically none of the quote-unquote accomplishments of this administration because she knows how politically unpopular he is. But there he is out there once again saying, oh, no, forget it. You think she's trying to distance herself from me? Folks, she did everything that I did. Okay, so there you have the entire debacle and tension of today. Again, Joe Biden seemingly throwing Kamala Harris under the bus, whether or not it's on purpose, but it's very strange, right? And let's not forget, this is far from the first time something like this has happened since Biden got switched out.
Trump hat, I'll give you my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it.
You want to autograph it?
Oh, sure, I'll autograph it.
Huh?
Yeah.
You remember your name?
I don't remember my name. I'm slow.
You're old part. You're an old part.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm an old guy.
And you're an old part.
I know you would know about that.
What?
About being old.
Oh, I know.
All right.
I'm a young timer. Huh?
He reminds me of the guys I grew up with. There was always one in the neighborhood.
Well, I'm the only one.
There you go, man. I need that hat.
You want my autograph?
Hell no.
You know my name. Come on.
I ain't going that far.
Yeah. You said you would do a selfie. There you go. Hey, I'm proud of you now.
Just remember, no eating dogs and cats.
Hey, they're good.
Thank you.
They're good. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I hope you like the pizza.
Huh?
You guys pick the best.
Yeah, let me just say, I've never really seen Biden smile that hard. You know? He looks happier than he looked of the many last several years of his presidency. So just something to consider. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Do you think Biden is trying to get his revenge by doing things like this? Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, I've been Vince with RTM News. Peace.